Hello everyone, this is Soul Horizons Tarot. We're going to do a reading for the sign, a love reading for the sign of Taurus. This is going to be part 1, so this will be kind of a more quick reading, whereas part 2 will kind of dig in a little deeper with some clarifiers. So if the first part resonates with you, then be sure to check out part 2, which will be posted afterwards to see, where that story goes. This is for the sign of Taurus. Please feel free to leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and we'll get started. Move that out of the way. The thing's still going. All right. So I already pre-shuffled, so I'm going to do a quick shuffle, and then we'll get your spread laid out. Alright, so for the sign of Taurus, support messages for the sign of Taurus. Taurus in love. Current energy crossing, borderline, truth, recent past coming towards them, advice, and outcome, as well as the overall energy. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Keep in mind this is a general reading, so the messages will not apply to every Taurus out there. Cross-watchers are welcome, but this is Taurus's story. I don't like to do the flip and switch because it just makes it too confusing. And this is a shorter Celtic cross spread because I don't have enough. I don't have enough time. My readings are usually pretty long, as is. Let's see, 36 start. Alright, so general message. Not all messages will apply to everyone. If it doesn't resonate, it is not your story. Don't force it to fit. The signs and or gender of the cards do not always apply, so just fit it to where it does apply. Not force it, but if you're not dealing with a sign that I say, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not your reading. It's just pay more attention to the energy or the characteristics of the card as opposed to the sign. So, the first card we have here for your current energy situation is the Queen of Wands. Of course, again, in part 2 we will do clarifiers. So this is going to be a very brief overview. You could be dealing with an Aries, Leo, Sag, but more than likely this is your energy, your situation. There's something that you're trying to create for yourself. You're being, you're driven at this time, ambitious. You've got some type of goal, or you may be undertaking something that you have a lot of confidence in. Again, because there's no clarifiers, that might not sound correct to you yet, but there is something that you're going after, you're chasing. You have a lot of passion at this time for something or someone. With the Queen of Wands, she can be a very good leader, so you may have taken on a leadership position. The Queen of Wands is somebody that doesn't sit idly, and she goes after what she wants. She's, again, very, very driven, very ambitious, very passionate. She can be very charismatic, magnetic. So you may be drawing a lot of attention to yourself at this time, whether you mean to or not. The Queen of Wands is just someone that you can't ignore. When she enters a room, all eyes are on her. So whether that's intentional or not, you may be, getting a lot of attention at this time. We'll see when we do part 2 what that is, maybe what you're going after, to kind of narrow it down for those of you that that doesn't apply to. You might want to wait till part 2 because clarifiers can change the story quite quickly and significantly. So what is crossing you at this time? And this is a love reading, so keep that in mind. This could be that you are recently single and you're starting to put yourself out there some more with the Queen of Wands, or you could be coupled and you're feeling very confident within yourself and within the connection. We'll have to see, but what's crossing you right now is the Four of Cups. So this is emotional stagnation, dissatisfaction. You may be very physically vibrant at this time, but emotionally it does look like there's some dissatisfactions, maybe some boredom surrounding something, whether that's a particular area of your life or a relationship or a connection of some kind. It doesn't necessarily have to be a love relationship. Could be work, could be just day-to-day mundane tasks, but the Four of Cups is a card, a feeling kind of, blah about things, or not accepting a certain offer. This is kind of turning someone down, or turning an offer down, or missing an opportunity. So we'll definitely have to see what that's about. Of course, this card lays like this, but when she's like this, looking at it upright, she's looking over here at the past with the Two of Cups. So we'll have to see what that's about. But there's something that you're not quite happy with, you're not interested in, or you're just kind of losing interest in. Alright, so what's on your mind? The person or situation most on your mind is the Three of Cups. So you may be thinking about a friendship. Maybe it's a relationship that's, still in the friendship stage. Or maybe this is a card that it can talk about like reconciling or reconciliation, reunion of some kind. It could literally just talk about a platonic friend, no intimacy involved. It can also be a card of, celebrating something. And with the Queen of Wands, that's a very celebratory energy there. So you may be celebrating some kind of success or victory. We'll have to see with the clarifiers on part 2. But the person or situation most on your mind may be a friend, somebody that you have friend zoned, or you've been friend zoned, or you're looking for a reconciliation with someone. Again, clarifiers will tell us more. Let's see. Honestly, if I'm looking at the cards, we go from the 4 down to the 3, down to the 2. So the way I would kind of interpret this is almost as if you're feeling yourself in the moment, and again, this is without clarifiers. The clarifiers can completely change the story. You're feeling yourself, you're feeling confident, you're feeling, you're vibing, and then with the Four of Cups, what's crossing you, there may be something that you're no longer emotionally invested in, or you're losing that interest in. Because we go down to the 3, it was growing because we went from the 2 to the 3 to the 4. So there was growth in a particular area or with a particular person. Things were going in a good direction, but then we went back down to the 3. From the 3 to the 4, that means we lost a cup, because you go through ace through tens in the suits. So somewhere along the way, a cup was lost. So that could definitely apply that somebody may have kind of lost interest, and they're kind of taking a step back emotionally from a situation. Maybe you're reevaluating a relationship, or maybe the other person is, and you feel like they are pulling away. So again, clarifiers are going to tell us a lot here. It's kind of interesting too to see how the colors of this card are kind of bleeding into this one. If you put them side by side, it looks like they're kind of a continuation. So maybe it could be that some of you are, it's taking you a longer time to open up emotionally towards something. Like it's something is slowly growing on you, or it could be the opposite. Something is slowly starting to like lose its appeal. So yeah, we'll definitely check that out. So hidden truth or shadow mind or hidden truth down here is something that you don't know about a situation that's on your mind that would benefit you. So and here we have the Four of Wands. So an interpretation of this could be that, you know, you might not see the value with that Four of Cups. You might not see the value in something, but the truth of the matter is it could be quite stable. You know, we have two people here, and Four of Wands is also a card of celebration. It's a card of, you know, it could be talking about a home situation. It could be talking about something that provides stability, security. The Four of Wands represents stable. Something being stable. So that might be something that you're not aware of, is that whatever that you're kind of like second guessing or evaluating or just completely uninterested in, it could actually provide you with a lot of stability. There could also be a situation to do with a home, whether yours or somebody else's, or a job, because again, Four of Wands is something that is, you know, has a good foundation. There could be something going on there. Clarifiers are going to tell what direction that goes, but what you're not aware of is, you know, there could be more stability than you're giving credit to, or there's a situation that you're unaware of that has to do with a house, a home, a business, somebody else's success possibly. Maybe somebody else is celebrating. And I don't know how that would apply into the situation, other than, you know, maybe if you feel they're not taking you seriously, but I think this might be you that's feeling this Four of Cups. It could be that somebody is giving you that impression. So here in the recent past, with the Two of Cups, this is a connection. The Two of Cups is an emotional connection where two people, there are feelings involved. Usually it's a mutual kind of give and take energy. Two people that, you know, have the same, they're on the same page. So in the recent past, there was some kind of connection. How that applies to you now, it could be, you know, if this is a reconciliation card, it could be that you want to reconcile a past relationship. I don't see anything here yet that says that there has been a breakup, but this could be like maybe you guys kind of, you know, emotionally disconnected, or you did from them or they did from you, and you're wanting to kind of start building on that again, going from the 2 to the 3, but the Four of Cups is in the way. Somebody feels this sense of again, dissatisfaction, disinterest, boredom, or they're getting that from the other person. They're getting that impression from the other person. It would make sense for that to be the case, for somebody to want to reconcile this and move it forward, progress in some way in a relationship, but they're either, you know, they're questioning it, or they're getting the vibe that the other person is not, they don't feel the same. So we'll definitely have to look at that as well. So what's coming towards you is, you know, we're going back up, so 2, 3, 4, and now all the way to the 7. We have the Seven of Cups for what's coming towards you in love. Now, the Seven of Cups can be a lot of options opening up to you. So many that you don't know which is the right to choose, or it is sometimes a card of keeping your options open. But it can also be a card of, feeling there's confusion, there's a lack of clarity, maybe some over-idealization, not, it's kind of like not seeing things for how they are, which is, this is your advice card, is the Moon. So there may be something coming towards you that it presents itself as something, and you're not looking at it realistically, or it's not being presented realistically. Whether that's from a person, we'll have to see. But the Seven of Cups is usually a card about confusion. So we'll see what that is in part 2. Now for your advice, we have the Moon card, and that is, well, no, you have 2. You only have 2 major arcana here so far. So this is a significant piece to the puzzle. As far as your advice, this could be talking about there's something that you need to face, there's something that you need to delve into, and because the moon is a card of things not really being as they appear. The moon is false light. It's just a reflection of light, so it can twist things. It can make them seem worse than they are. It can make them seem better than they are. It's kind of like unrealistic or over-idealization. It can also talk about trauma, mental health issues. I don't really see it as that. I honestly kind of feel like it's more to do with not seeing something for what it really is. The energy that I'm getting from these cards is kind of like being in your own little world and living in the moment and not looking too deep into things. And it's interesting again because this card looks like it's bleeding into what's crossing you. It's almost like the light of the moon is kind of coloring your perspective. Because this part might be like seeing things in rose-colored glasses, but this would be the reality of a situation. But you're not looking towards that. So we'll have to see. I'll have to clarify this to get more information. But yeah, I feel like the moon is talking about looking into something deeper, taking a deeper look, facing something, resolving something that is unresolved. Again, the moon can talk about unresolved trauma, emotions, profound, deep emotions that are not really being recognized or acknowledged. So we'll definitely have to see what that's about as well. So the outcome here is justice. Oh, and your signs here are Aries, Leo, Sag, specifically Aries. Does not have to be. We have the moon, obviously, Cancer, Pisces, sometimes Scorpio, and then justice is Libra. So yeah, the outcome is justice. So this is talking about, and most probable, not definitive, because you have free will. So don't take this as written in stone, because tarot never is. You have free will. You can change. You have your own free will. There's others that's involved, and then divine will. So the most probable outcome in this situation, if things continue on as they have been, is the justice. And this can talk about, maybe there is a settlement in court that you're dealing with, a law. The law is somehow involved. that can talk about, whichever way that lands. Clarifiers will definitely, because I don't do reversals, but this is a need to balance something out, for something to be balanced, for something to be fair and right and just. It can be a karmic card, so basically be careful, because karma is the outcome. So if you've done something or you're doing something that could come back to bite you, justice just showing up that it's here. It's going to right the situation in whichever side's favor that was, on the good side of justice. But I kind of see it as, whatever this confusion is here with these two cards, it will eventually be brought back to balance. Of course, clarifiers will tell us more about that. But with justice here, this is whatever decision you're making or thinking about making or procrastinating on making. That Four of Cups says, eventually you're going to have to face it, which is what the moon is about. It's about facing something, acknowledging it, dealing with it, resolving it. So there's definitely something underneath all this that says you're going to have to deal with it. Whether you do it on your own or an outside force kind of forces you into a situation, it's better to acknowledge it and, take responsibility over it than to be forced, your hand to be forced. And then we have the Nine of Wands for the overall energy. The Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior card. You may be pretty skeptical about something or guarded, or the person that you're dealing with is. Being that this is your reading, it will default to you. You may be looking at somebody's actions or inaction as, you could have definitely been hurt in a situation. You're guarded here. You're defending yourself, or not defending. You're protecting yourself with the Nine of Wands, or somebody is. It very well could be that you're the person that hurt somebody. I'm not here to pick sides, or it's not about me judging you. It's just the cards that are here are somebody got hurt in the situation, and they're protecting themselves with the Nine of Wands. They may be skeptical about the other person, the offer that's being presented, but with the Nine of Wands, it's definitely a card about having been hurt, wounded, or disappointed in some way. Now you have your guard up. Now you have this wall up, and that definitely reflects here with the Four of Cups, skepticism. Possible rejection of an offer, or not 100% sure that you want to accept an offer. If that is not you, it could be the other person, so keep that in mind. So for the short read, for those of you that this didn't resonate, obviously don't go to part 2. For those of you that it did but don't want to watch anymore, basically your reading says that you're in a good mood for the most part, it seems, with the Queen of Wands. There's something that you're either, with the Four of Cups and the Moon being your vice, you're not facing something. There's something that you are not taking into consideration. And it definitely needs to be, because eventually justice is here to say, I'm here to right the wrong. I'm here to balance a scale. Make sure that you're on the right side of justice, because if you do not rectify whatever this is, or you do not face it, or you do not resolve it, there could be something that forces your hand, and the outcome may not be in your favor if you continue to Four of Cups it, basically. So that would be like, I kind of feel like this is pushing it away. The Four of Wands says that there is stability here, or there is a way to stabilize things where you don't see it. and for whatever reason you have your guard up on the situation. For some of you, it could be a legal situation. Does not have to be. Justice does not always mean that you're dealing with a lawsuit or a settlement or this or that. It is a card about righting the wrongs, justice prevailing, the balancing of the scales. So in this situation, it seems to be you are the one that is kind of avoiding or procrastinating or just trying not to get too involved. You're keeping up this happy face with the Queen of Wands. It does seem to do with some type of connection, whether that's a friendship, even though this is a love reading. Some of you are not dealing with a lover. This could be a family member, anything of that nature. But there is a way to stabilize it. There is some confusion coming in. You're meant to see it through, to recognize it, to acknowledge it, and find a way to resolve it. Otherwise, justice can come in to, do its thing. So if you continue to pretend it's not there, the outcome might not be in your favor. So that is your short reading for part 1 for Taurus. Sorry, I forgot the sign. If this did resonate with you so far, or you're curious and you want to hear more, I'm fixing to do part 2, where we will dive much deeper, get way more in depth into this to see what's what, who's who, how, where, why, when. So if you did like it, leave a comment, share, like, subscribe, all that, please. And thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon, and keep watch for part 2.